Rangers have yet again announced another signing. It's the sixth one, I believe. It could be the seventh. I'm not really too sure, but they're happening thick and fast as big Nasser Djiga has signed on a season-long loan. Welcome back to the channel, and this is a great piece of business in my eyes. A guy with buckets of European experience, right? And we're going to get into his stats initially, because this is actually one guy I've not even bothered talking about the stats. I remember saying, oh, he's played in the Champions League with Slavia Prague. But that was like, what, a couple of days ago. There's been that many links, new links, old links, confirmations about signings and people getting booted to one side, and also there was the friendly and all that drama. It's almost like too much happening. Well, like a couple of weeks ago, it was stirring the same pot of the same old rehashed names, but I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Come on, the 49ers, a wee bit more. Thanking you. But we'll go into his overall stats. And we will look at his European stats, shall we? So, 2 games in Champions League qualifiers, 2 games in the Conference League, 5 games in the Conference League qualifiers. So obviously that's what 9 appearances and all them combined. But the big one for me is the fact that he's played 14 games in the UEFA Champions League. 1 goal, 1 assist. Don't really care about the goals and assists. He's a centre back, folks, right? But here, still, if he can add the odd goal here and there with a big bullet header from a set piece, I'm all for that. Over 1,200 minutes, 1,260 minutes in the Champions League. So the guy has got a lot of minutes in there. He has featured for Wolves since making his move from Slavia Prague to them. 5 appearances, 1 appearance in the FA Cup. So it's not exactly worked out as the greatest move to Wolves yet. But again, guy's still very young, 22. And I think the key thing about this move is people will laugh and say, he's barely even played for Wolves. But yeah, he's barely even played for Wolves, right? Wolves are in the Premier League, which we have to just accept, folks. It's miles better than our league. This is a guy that got signed for 12 million back in January. The fact that he's now played for Wolves and he's in the Premier League means if Wolves were looking to move this guy on in a permanent deal, they'd probably want about 20 million for him. And fun fact, we are not going to spend 20 million on anybody. No one in this league is spending 20 million on anybody. So if there's a guy that's worth that sort of value and we're able to bring him in on loan, a season long loan, I think it's a good deal. Looking at it from the outside. Now, here, maybe the guy's pish. Who knows? Not watched too much of him. Not going to sit here and claim I have like some people would. But yeah, brother, this is a good signing in my eyes. Guy's got Champions League experience, and he's obviously got a lot of games in the Czech Republic for the likes of Slavia Prague. He's also played a lot of games for Basel as well, and it's what I want to see. It's what oh, hold on here. I need to reel it in. I need to reel it in a wee bit. It's the Czech Republic. I mean the Serbian League. I've been saying Slavia Prague. It's Red Star Belgrade this entire time. Ah, easy thing to get confused about, I guess. But obviously started his career at Vitesse, then went on to Basel, few loans, Red Star Belgrade. To me, well, he moved for an initial 4.35 million from Basel to Red Star Belgrade. I always get those two mixed up. Red Star and Slavia Prague. They've got the same colours, kind of similar badge. And if you think of like a hostile Eastern European team, it's always Slavia Prague, Red Star Belgrade that I think of. But then obviously good performances in the Champions League earned them that move to Wolves. His market value was 7 million euros. He's went for 12 million in January, and like I said, his market value is now increased up to 10 million. But like I said, it's that Premier League tax, folks. Man, you're just looking at a shit ton extra now that he's went for that reason, and it's the same. Well, plenty of other players that go to the Premier League. It's like it doesn't matter if they've played 1 game or 400 games. Man, the Premier League tax is very real. But he is, of course, Burkina Faso international, which 8 caps and 1 goal. So again, he can bang in the odd goal, but the worrying thing for me, folks, is not only him, but someone pointed this out on Twitter. We have got a lot of players that could be playing in the Africa Cup of Nations. Now I'm just thinking off my top of my head here. This guy, Igamane, Dessers, Diamonde, and I'm sure there's a couple. I mean, that's 4 players that you're thinking, right, all potentially quite easily 4 stars, and there's probably other guys that are just absolutely that are just dropping at my head. And you know, if you're losing 4, 5, 6, 7 starter slash bench players in the month of January, when it's notoriously tough in the month of January, that's not ideal. And again, international tournament, hope they do well, but reality is it's Rangers first for me. And I always do believe that the Africa Cup of Nations should actually be in the summer. Now, I believe it's not in the summer due to probably temperatures, which again I can understand in that regard. But yeah, we'll see, we'll negotiate, we'll navigate that issue when we get to it in January, December, January time. But as for this signing, good move, no complaints for me. Guy with a lot of European experience, played for Red Star Belgrade, Basel, a few games for Wolves. And it's a guy that we simply just could not afford outside of a loan. And I think when you sign guys that you couldn't afford outside of a loan, it means you're getting decent quality, more than decent quality, you know. So yeah, leave it down below, folks, and we'll be back later on, hopefully with some more news. I'm hearing that Josh Windass could be on the return. Would I take him? I mean, there's worse players. I've seen John Lundstrom linked, which I think is just absolute crazy, but I think there is truth in Josh Windass. We've also got the guy from Sheffield, his tag team partner at Sheffield Wednesday. Talk about that later. So there's a lot happening. A lot happening.